Thanks, Tom. I'm excited to be here. It's obviously our first security field day, and I'm going to jump in here. I'm actually joined by Brian Page, who is our Director of Solution Architecture. But I'm going to go a little bit over Swimlane, and then we'll jump in. Like you said, we'll get to the demos, and we'll get to them quick because I know that's what folks really want to see. So for folks that don't know, Swimlane is a cloud-scale, low-code security automation. I know that's a mouthful, but really what that means is we're helping security organizations do security at scale, integrating all their different technologies together, and really making the days and the lives of those people that have to do security ops better. So I'll jump right in here. And from a mission perspective, when we think about how we're going to spend our day, what we're trying to accomplish, we want organizations to be able to support a continuous compliance footprint as well as prevent compromises. And we do that by providing them Swimlane, which is our low-code security platform, which really serves as a system of record for a lot of organizations, right? Engineering teams might be using Jira, sales teams use Salesforce, security organizations are using Swimlane as a place where human and machine data is coming together. So a little bit about us, keep this brief. Great leadership team from all over the country, all over the globe, lots of great companies work for, both private and public. We support customers all over the globe, financial services, government, managed service providers, you name it, those are our customers, 150 employees across the globe. We've raised over $60 million, 40 of that being at the very beginning of this year. So our customers are organizations, like I said, all over the globe. Financial services, protecting, credit card data, consumer data. We have utilities, energy, oil and gas, the government organizations that are trying to keep, both citizens and their infrastructure secure, and a much, pretty broad set of other customers, both, in the US as well as globally. So what we see folks trying to do from an automation perspective is we're always trying to hire more people. And that's really difficult. If you think about the skill set that security people need right now, it's a little bit of a blend of system administration, security experience, IT experience, maybe some software and programming experience. These are really difficult people to hire. Tons of headlines on how difficult it is to bring those folks in. We're always buying more tools, and we do that because, well, there's new infrastructure, be it virtualization, containerization, Kubernetes, you name it. There's more infrastructure to monitor and protect. And what we've really seen is because of that, the amount of data that organizations are having to deal with has become extremely overwhelming. And that's led us to really narrow our focus down to those most critical alerts, not the low and informational ones that lead to the critical alerts, but it's actually those things that are happening at the end. So for us, we really want to see folks be able to process more data to actually catch those canaries in the coal mine. So how did we get here? You guys know this probably better than anyone, so I'll keep it quick, but we've been buying lots of tools. All those tools have centralized managers. We've been aggregating that out to the SIM. We've been hiring more people to actually process the alerts that are coming out of that environment. We know that these tools should be integrated together. So we have, we've brought somebody out of the security team, maybe somebody had a computer science class, asked them to integrate these technologies together. Typically, these are really fragile and really difficult to support. But that's where most organizations are at, trying to get these different technologies to work together. And similarly, with from an automation perspective, folks are running what I would call fire and forget scripts. These are scripts that, I see an alert, I run an action, but that really doesn't meet the needs of the kind of a modern security organization. We need to be able to kind of process, enrich, and push information through an automation pipeline and have a system of record for everything that's happening there. So this is where a lot of organizations are at today. Folks that have adopted, what we generally refer to as kind of an early SOAR product, they've got to outsource some of this. They get some integrations, they get a little bit of automation, they get simplified playbooks, but they really aren't getting kind of the full experience of a low-code environment, which is pretty unique to what we're doing here at Swimlane. So what is Swimlane? We have a really extensible automation engine that allows us to support a lot of use cases, really broad, really sophisticated use cases that are pretty nuanced inside of an organization. It's all managed with a low-code automation studio. It's tied into a fabric of integrations across thousands and thousands of API endpoints, across hundreds of unique tools. And the nice part is it's not just the automation pipeline. It's also that human in the loop element. There's the case management, the visualization, the reporting. That ability to actually have human interaction is part of that security process. So if you think back to when organizations like Swimlane got started, we all raised venture capital, we went onto the market. We could really spend our money on probably three primary topics: use cases, integrations, and the actual engine itself. And what we've seen from our customers and from our prospects that we talk to is that investment by Swimlane is inversely different to almost everything else in the market. We've put all of our money into that engine, and that's really important because the needs of a security organization are changing really rapidly. And what they used to be half a decade ago is not what they are today. And obviously, everything that builds on top of that engine is better. The integrations themselves are better. They're more inspectable, that come out much faster. And the use cases themselves aren't simple playbooks. They're really robust, value-creating use cases that help not just the SOC, but every organization that's really participating in the security objectives of a team. So what we see is organizations that have adopted, what some folks might call SOAR, is they've got phishing, they've got alert management, they've got intel lookups, and then they're really kind of hitting a wall. And we'll talk about this in our demos a little bit, but this is kind of where most folks are stopping, and they're seeing other use cases they want to implement. Maybe they want to get proactive and do threat hunting, or they want to support their audit automation process, or all these other use cases, from cyber hygiene to working inside of the OT environment, be it manufacturing or maybe it's utility, all the way to the convergence of cybersecurity and fraud. So we see this happening, and organizations want to go there, but having a static kind of simple SOAR product doesn't really get them there. They really need that low-code experience that something like Swimlane provides. So typically, when you think about SOAR, folks are really focused on SecOps. But really, what folks want to do, if it's the CISO or if you're responsible for security in an organization, you really want to apply automation to all these different segments. If it's change management, if it's the CI/CD process, if it's data loss prevention, if it's supporting your GRC processes, these are all places where automation can make your team more effective and way more efficient. So what does this platform give you? We have really fast integrations with any tool. We're agnostic, so we don't care about the workload, the workflow, or the technology you integrate. We integrate with our competitors even. And you have to have minimal programming experience, but if you need to pop the hood, you can really dig deep and do some really interesting things if you need to really turn the dials. And last but not least is this can be deployed in the cloud, hybrid. You can do it on-prem. You can even do it air-gapped if you need to. So as an organization, what do you get for that? You get the amount of time that you spend doing manual tasks and the alerts that you have to manage reduced dramatically, over 90%. The time that an attacker has in your environment, that dwell time, that threat response capability is reduced by over 90%. Brian's going to show how we do that. Really what you get is a virtual analyst inside of your environment, someone that's not taking weekends, holidays, calling in sick. It's always doing security, it's always doing it consistently and doing it at machine speed. And as a practitioner, all that data that I'm gathering in my SIM or my data lake is actually being actioned. All my tools are integrated together. And I really have a system of record. If I need to support an auditor or a compliance request, I have all that in one spot, not just machine data, but the human decisions that went along with that to train new staff and support data requests. So that's really kind of the end of the overview of Swimlane. What we really want to do here is kind of transition over to the demo. And what we've actually brought in is a kind of a real world use case that we've worked with actually a customer on. And obviously won't give super specifics on their organization itself, but we'll jump in and kind of walk through that process and how that actually went with that security team and their board.